Alright, what's up guys? So, Big Fry TV has uploaded a video titled AAA Gaming is Failing. Yeah, that's something that I've spoken out about myself. Yeah, there's a lot of games out there where they're just not hitting the same, like not how they used to back in the day. Like recently, I had to go get my PlayStation 3 from my sister and an Xbox 360 from this like retro game store. Get a gang of PlayStation 2, 3, and Xbox 360 games just so I can remember what gaming was like when I was a kid. And I'm telling you, when you look at gaming from back then to gaming now, it's like, how did we go backwards? Like, that's what I'm trying to figure out. How do we go backwards when it comes to gaming? You know, it's like you don't see cars going backwards. You don't see houses going backwards. You don't see sneakers going backwards. And it seems like that with video games, we used to have fully built video games to now where we will get the title, and then after a month, or maybe not that long, but like let's say after a few days, then we'll get the opening credits. And then after another few days, then we'll get that first mission. Then after some days, I'm talking on these updates. And it's like, bruh, I'm not trying to play an update simulator. I'm not trying to play bits and pieces and portions of the game. I'm trying to relive those moments when I was a kid. I just got a game from Target for like $49.99, and it was a fully functional working game. I can have fun with this game. But it just seems like now it's like, nah, they don't want that. And so we're just stuck in this situation where it's like, I really don't know at the end of the day whether or not gaming is going to get better, but it's like if this is the route that we're going down with gaming, where it's like these bigger games are going to be, you know, they're failing, and then you got indie games or developers that, you know, where they do make a AAA title game, but it's good. That's who we're going to have to count on. But it's like companies where it's like they are well-established companies. Yeah, it's like, no, it's going to get to a point where we all look up and it's going to be like, dang, that company is really shutting down. You thought you'd never see the day. Or it'll be like, whatever year it happens, they were like, oh, that wasn't on my bingo card for this year, but I'm saying, it's like, y'all keep coming out with like 1, 2, 2.5 star games, and it's like, what do you expect the future to be like? Oh, all of a sudden you guys gonna be winning awards and, you know, getting all this love and support? No, you guys gonna find yourself in a situation where you make that post talking about, hey, we love our fans, we love our audience, but sadly, after today, we are shutting down all servers to our game. We're not going to be releasing any more games. This is the final one. Thank you guys for these years and years and years of support, but it's time to say goodbye. And that's going to be the last time we hear from these big giant like, you know, developers and publishers and stuff. But anyways, yeah, if you guys haven't, make sure you go subscribe to Big Fry TV for more videos like this. With that being said,
are you guys feeling the wind from the pendulum swinging back in our direction? Because I am. With the recent release of Helldivers 2, the game has gone bananas on Steam, with server capacity hitting its limits, forcing the developers to have to increase it day after day. I think right now they're at 450,000 on a server capacity, and people are still struggling to get in the doors.
Yeah,
the game has hit numbers that most teams would dream of, and has skyrocketed to the top of the Steam charts for peak player counts, much like Palworld did recently, which is another indie project.
You can make your character look like that.
Of these AAA titles, with player numbers that are putting those same AAA titles to shame. And I'm now
because it's like, the thing is we never asked for all this extra stuff that they do with video games. You literally can give us an arcade game, but if it's fully functional and well built, fam, we will be so satisfied with that. The funny thing about it, right, that if, let's say, who made NBA Street Volume 2? I think it was EA that made it. Let's say if they said, we're not making no Madden game, we're going to re-release NBA Street Volume 2. Or yeah, we're going to come out with a collector's edition where you get both 1 and 2 for $59.99, and it's the same game. We're updating the FPS and the visuals and stuff. But yeah, other than that, you're getting that game, and we're not going to be, I guarantee and I promise you, EA will see a massive raise when it it comes to, because no, I'm saying then they're all like, oh yeah, and we're adding multiplayer support so you can play with your friends and stuff. I guarantee and I promise you, people would like, no, EA, they would see so much support coming their way, but they're like, no, let's release another Madden, let's release another update for Apex Legends, let's cancel a Star Wars game and a Titanfall game so we can just come out with a 2-minute video for YouTube and things. Yeah, it's weird, bro. But anyways,
trend online where people are tired of creators like me pointing this out. I've seen tweets that I wish I would have screen capped where people are saying that this whole AAA versus indie rhetoric is tiresome and it doesn't help the industry. You know what also doesn't help the industry? Quadruple A titles that cost $70 and are riddled with microtransactions.
Yep.
Single player games that are twisted into a weird form of live service where it didn't need to have it for the sole focus of making more money.
Yep.
How's that going for you, Suicide Squad? Jesus.
Dang.
Those player numbers, the game should be called Suicide Watch. And that's not even to say that these games are bad. I've heard that Suicide Squad...
I like this game. I thought it was good, but dang, I didn't realize they were doing that bad.
Squad is reviewing pretty well. Skull and Bones is reviewing okay. Like, I've seen everything from 4 out of 10s to 7 out of 10s.
It's a Ubisoft game, so after some updates, then we'll see that, like I said, after some updates, then we'll see a fully functional working game.
It's like a pretty middling score base, but you know what I haven't seen since the release of these AAA and quadruple A games? I haven't seen anyone talking about them. The buzz around gaming right now is all on indies with games like Palworld, Helldivers 2, and Enshrouded, which, by the way, I haven't played yet, but we'll be playing and releasing a video on soon, and I've heard of that game.
I might play
it too. These games aren't AAA, buzzword riddled, marketed to fuck, bloated, overblown budget bullshit that we have been getting in the AAA space for so many years now. And finally, I think people are starting to actually realize the value in indie titles in 2024. And don't get me wrong.
I've said that so many different times. I've been saying that. I had to say ever since I started streaming on a regular basis, and I started streaming like in late 2020, I started noticing that like, no, there's just games don't hit like how they used to. And then it just seems like we're getting these indie games, and I'm like, bruh, there's the one game where it's called Spaceborne 2. Now, I'm not going to say this is the greatest indie game that I've ever played my whole life, but I can say that one guy developed that game, and he did good. From what I played, I thought that game was a solid game. One guy worked on that game. Now, how is it that one guy can work on this game, and it's this big giant game where you're going to all these different planets, fighting off, like, you know, I think it's like aliens and people. I don't know. It's been a minute since I played the game. But anyways, you're doing all this, like, they're giving you a game that you would think costs $70-something. The game, I think, is $20. I'm saying it trips me out how it's like, you see more work being put into an indie game versus a AAA title game. And that's something where I'm like, that's sad. That is sad, bro.
And that's not to say we didn't see major games like Stardew Valley and Minecraft making huge waves in the past, but it feels less like an anomaly that an indie game is super successful, and it's kind of swinging more towards potentially becoming the standard, with so many breakout titles in 2024 already taking the spotlight away from the mess that is the AAA space.
Yeah.
It's starting to feel like the ideas that we've been sharing in our little corner of the internet are creeping into the mainstream, and I genuinely think it's a two-pronged issue. People are more aware of how greedy these companies are and how they've been putting profit over passion for the last 15 years. But I also think people are now way more aware of their spending habits due to the way the economy is going. We talked about it in a previous video, and I also feel like with that, focus on where their money's going, I think more and more people are starting to realize that if you pay, $30, $40 for an indie title and get potentially 30, 40 plus hours out of it, that is worth more than spending $70 on a AAA or quadruple A game that you might get like 70 some hours out of. But then on top of it, you're always going to be looking at their storefronts and their skins and their cosmetics that are just out there trying to take more money from you. I've been having conversations with my IRL friends recently about Diablo 4 and how they have the mounts in the store on Diablo that are worth more than buying Pal World or buying Helldivers 2, and it blows their fucking mind that these companies are able to do this. And I always said, like, you're never going to get rid of the whales. There's always going to be somebody who might be playing games who's like a multi-millionaire who will look at like a horse mount in Diablo that's $69.99 and he'll cop that, no sweat off his ass, and be compared to like me just paying for a coffee for them. You're never going to get rid of the microtransactions, but I think what more and more people are realizing is how these companies function with their shareholders and how they're always having to make profits year over year, quarter over quarter, which means in the AAA space, it's only going to...
He's struggling with that. Like, the first time I came across it, I was struggling with it too. I felt like I saw a combination, but he had switched it all around and stuff. But yeah, Helldivers 2, they'll do some stuff like that.
Get worse. When you see, you know, Suicide Squad kill the Justice League, and it's some sort of weird live service single player title where they're going to be dropping content in that live service kind of roadmap, it's weird, and I don't think it's necessary. And I think, you know, in terms of single player games, I think people have experienced how single player games should be delivered to you by playing games like God of War and Horizon, and those single player masterpiece titles like Red Dead Redemption 2. And actually just more recently with Baldur's Gate 3, none of those games were live service titles. They were a single player game. You bought the game, you played it. Baldur's Gate 3 specifically for me has given 110 hours of gameplay, and I was never once asked to buy anything else. And Larian Studios made off like fucking bandits. They made so much money, deservedly so, off of Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah, because they won some awards.
Hogwarts Legacy last year. There were no microtransactions in that, and it was the highest selling game of 2023. I think people are getting hip to the game that live service titles are fucking garbage. And this whole trickle DLC service is fucking garbage. But here's the thing, guys. We've been saying this for years, and I'll be honest, man, I was starting to see like darkness in front of me. I was trying to figure out how we can potentially get people to understand. I thought the fight was over. But truthfully, I really think that just we're in a state now where people are struggling to, you know, put food on the table. They're struggling to make sure their bills are paid. Their entertainment outlet is...
It's like in these videos, and then it's like if you're a gamer, that's why you see like if your favorite streamer or something, or if a content creator, if they just abruptly disappearing, but they're like known for playing video games and things. Yeah, because it's like, I'm not trying to have it where it's like, oh, I'm stuck between a situation where I gotta buy the new season pass for this game and then put hours upon hours into it, or just going and getting me something to eat and, you know, making sure I'm like taken care of for the rest of the week and things. I'm saying this is where video games are at. I'm about like, you have to understand that these my thing is this, you gotta ask those developers, let's say if this would have been like 20, 30 years ago when you guys played video games for the first time, would you have wanted to be spending that much money? No, I guarantee it, I promise you, a lot of the developers today would be the indie developers that we're seeing today. You're not gonna be wanting to spend those stuff like, spending a good portion of your paycheck on a video game. I'm saying it trips me out when you see and hear some of the... I'll never forget, I remember when KSI, when he used to do FIFA videos, and it's like, you sit down and wonder why he's not doing FIFA videos no more. I remember when I did the math, because I think he said it in pounds, of course, because, yeah, he lives overseas, but anyways, when I had, not transferred, but overall, like, not translated either. Anyways, I made it to where it said, like, the American currency. This man spent, I think it was $5,000 in one FIFA video. This man spent, like, literally, people, that's not even a bonus, bruh. That's like that's paychecks for, at least for me. I remember when working at my old job, that definitely would have been, like, maybe... not 2 months. I'm trying to think, like 3.5, maybe 4 months worth of paychecks. So this, like, on one FIFA video. And I don't even think he got the player that he was trying to get. That's the thing that trips me out. And it's like, Why can we not just have it where we play a game and it's based off of our skill level on unlocking a character or unlocking a skin or unlocking a gun if you're playing a shooter game? Why does it have to be some stuff where it's like, I gotta put hard, I gotta do that, I gotta sit down and play the game, but I also gotta buy the season pass just to unlock this stuff? That's crazy, man.
Video games, and as they're being pushed little by little by the corporate overlords that control us, I think they're starting to realize, fuck putting money in CEOs' pockets that take millions and millions of dollars in bonuses every year while laying developers off. And they're starting to look at the small guys that are delivering experiences that they actually give a shit about. And whether or not you like Helldivers or Pal World or Enshrouded or whichever game, that doesn't matter. What matters is these games are resonating with players in a way that AAA games really haven't done outside of your anomalies like Baldur's Gate 3, like Red Dead Redemption 2. It feels like the script is flipping. It feels, again, like the pendulum is swinging back.
Because people were saying this about Helldivers, was that it was reminding them of a game that would have came out back during the Xbox 360 era. And I'm like, honestly, it feels like that this game, if it would have came out during the Xbox 360 era, I feel like that, like, oh, just recently people have been starting to play it all over again, and this is like some graphics mod to make it look all nice and things. This is literally that game. This is that game that you would see people doing that to. But this is a game that just came out.
I'm just hoping that we can keep up this momentum. When you actually look at what's coming out in 2024, some of the most anticipated titles are coming from indie developers. PlayStation just came out recently and said that there's no big releases planned until, I believe, between now and March of 2025. Xbox is, I mean, Xbox is existing. They still have...
They got Xbox Game Pass, so they probably look at it as like, we're going to still release these big title games, but at least you ain't going to have to pay for them, because it was Forza, Pal World. Pal World, I mean, is considered an indie game. But yeah, Forza Motorsport, I would say that that's a AAA title game. I got that for free. Starfield, that was another free game. Yeah, there's a lot of their games where it'll just come out on the Xbox Game Pass, and I'm like, that's honestly their best selling point. So yeah, if it's some stuff like that where I ain't gotta pay no money for the game, then okay, cool. And it's through the subscription service, I don't mind that. I was thinking that like years ago, when Netflix was like $7 a month and stuff, and they had them commercials and things. So yeah, I was thinking that a long time ago, but yeah, it's, Xbox though. I don't know. Let's overall see what they got going on, what they got in store and stuff.
Game Pass, but there's no big titles that are slated to come out this year. Obviously, we know there's a new Call of Duty, gonna come out sometime in October, November. Other than that, though, I think the big titles that people are looking forward to: Gray Zone Warfare, Stalker 2, Pioneer. Going down the list of the most wish-listed upcoming Steam games, there's only a couple that you would consider AAA. Games like Dragon's Dogma from Capcom, games like, I guess you'd say, is Arc 2 a studio wildcard? Do you consider them AAA? We have Stalker, we have Frostpunk, Manor Lords, Hades 2. All of these games, Unrecord is on there too. They're all indie games. So I guess this video can be summed up with, guys, I'm happy. There's a shit ton of games out here right now in the rotation that are keeping my attention, and it all costs me a fraction of what I would spend if I bought a bunch of AAA. And it all out here right now.
Was there like a mine or something? Oh, it was a mine.
Keeping my attention, and it all costs me a fraction of what I would spend if I bought a bunch of AAA games. In the meantime, I'm happy that Skull and Bones is struggling to find relevancy, because that might signal to Ubisoft that this isn't what we fucking wanted.
The thing is this: if you know me, you know how much I've talked about Ubisoft. Ubisoft is not going to care, okay? My thing is this: the only game that they seem to be caring about, and I think what they're doing is probably they're wondering, what new things can we do with this game? Even though this game came out next year, it's crazy how next year it'll be 10 years since this game came out. And it's honestly, I think the game did, it came out in like late 2015, and that's crazy. That's honestly some crazy stuff, but I think that they're worried, like, what's the next thing we can add to Rainbow Six Siege? They came out with all the different games that Ubisoft then came out with after Rainbow Six Siege. Rainbow Six Extraction, The Division 1 and 2, For Honor, Ghost Recon Wildlands, Ghost Recon Breakpoint, Skull and Bones. Didn't they come out with some Assassin's Creed games? So yeah, let's say they came out with 10 plus games since Rainbow Six Siege. Why are they still doing stuff for Rainbow Six Siege and they came out with a whole new game called Rainbow Six Extraction? Now, unless them were supposed to be like 2 separate games. But my thing is this, okay, then say that. You know, let people know that. But as I see it, you guys are releasing all these games and you only want to focus on the one game that's making you money. The thing is this. I personally don't think, like, let's say if, people, they were still playing, I think people still be playing Rainbow Six Siege and stuff, but unless that game stops making them money, I don't see them really changing their ways. I see Ubisoft, they're gonna say Avatar, bro, 11 games. I'm like, bro, like I'm saying, like Ubisoft, you guys done came out with a lot of different games, and with Avatar, I can tell you guys right now, with the first Division, matchmaking was off when it came to multiplayer. The Division 2, that game will crash. Ghost Recon Wildlands, that game crashed. Breakpoint, it just didn't even really seem like it was that, like, it's crazy how that game came out and the game was already dead when it came out, and I'm like, that's insane. Avatar, I remember that game was so glitchy and buggy on PC, and then when I got it on console, it just seemed like that it somewhat worked, but it was still glitchy and buggy. Ubisoft, what they honestly need to do is take a break, work on coming out with updates to fix all the games that they got out right now. Don't do no stuff that involves us giving you guys more money, because I'm like, you done taken enough money from us throughout the years. You don't need no more money. What you need to be doing is using this money to fix your guys' game. But it's something where I'm like, you guys gonna find yourself in a day before situation where it's all like, y'all go come out with a game, people ain't gonna be liking it, then you ain't gonna have no choice but to take the game out of stores, because people are like, I ain't gonna buy that. No, that's gonna be the one game. I feel like Ubisoft will come out with a game that everybody hates, and then everybody's all like, no, I'm turning this, I'm getting my money back, I'm going to the store and trade it in, and that's gonna be the game where it's like, after a month done passed by, the game's on sale for like $10 or something like that. So I'm saying Ubisoft, me personally, I don't have hope for them. I could be wrong, but I personally don't have hope for them.
I'm happy that Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is struggling to find a player base, because that might signify to Warner Brothers that you have squandered Rocksteady's talent making a live service single player title. I'm happy that Helldivers 2 is everywhere. You go to TikTok, you go to Instagram, It is being talked about everywhere, and deservedly so. 2024 is going to be the year of the indie game, and I'm here for it, dude. This is the shit we've been talking about for years, and we're watching it play out.
You got 40 magazines for that.
I want to know what you guys are playing. I wanted to make a video talking about just kind of my perspective on what we're seeing in the indie space. There's a lot of games to talk about. I really can't wait to jump into Enshrouded. That's going to be happening this week. I think Pacific Drive is coming out this week too, which I'm super excited about.
I heard about that.
I have a key for it, so we're probably going to be playing that on stream this week. There's just a lot of good shit going on right now, and I think we can get caught up in the fact that these games are coming out bad, but you look around the corner and there's 4 more bangers that are a fraction of the price that are coming out and just taking the world by storm. I think 2024 is going to be a great year for games. I can't wait to share my thoughts on all of these titles with you guys more in the near future. I have a video coming out tomorrow about a game that not a lot of people have even heard of. It was announced a couple of years ago, and I finally got hands-on in a behind-the-scenes playtest. You guys don't want to miss that. Stay tuned. My name is Big Fry. Leave a like on the video if you guys enjoyed it. Subscribe for more content just like this. Follow me on Twitch for live streams Monday, Wednesday, Friday, whatever schedule we have going on that week. And make sure you guys are in the Discord to continue these kind of conversations with like-minded community members. Thank you guys for watching. My name is Big Fry, and I'll see you on the next one.
Yeah, these games, man. I heard about that because there was like that game. I was looking into it and they had like a mostly negative on Steam, and I was like, ah, dang. It was like the developer has a meltdown in Discord. Well, yeah, it's like you come out with a game and then the game's all buggy and glitchy. How do you expect people to react to that type of stuff? And this is something that I say with a lot of different video games. Imagine just outside of the video game world, right? Imagine if you buy a car, because I remember when Helldivers 2, when it was going through its stuff with the servers and things, I was saying that, I was like, imagine if you go out and you buy a car and they say that this is a fully functional working car. You see commercials and all these different things about it, and you're like, I want this car. I want this brand new Tesla. No, I'm shaking Elon Musk's hand. I'm giving him the money for this brand new Tesla. I'm driving it off the lot. I'm having fun. The day comes. It's March 4th, 2024. The brand new Tesla done came out. You go up to the Tesla dealership and you buy the car. You're driving it down the road. You're like, man, this is amazing. Like, I finally got this car. All of a sudden, this car shuts down in the middle of the road because it's having an update. Or if it just starts glitching and bugging out and it crashes you into an 18-wheeler. Or you put in the GPS, take me home, this thing drives you out into the Atlantic Ocean. I'm saying out into the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. Like, not the beach that you gotta go to get to the, no, it drives you, this car just teleports, does some like GTA 4 swing set glitch, and it just sends you all the way out to the Atlantic. You're gonna be mad about that stuff. You're gonna be all the way at the bottom of the ocean. I don't know where the Titanic is at. I don't think it's in the air, but you're gonna be right next to that Titanic ship, and you're gonna be upset that this car then did this to you. And then you go and you somehow, some way, you survive that crazy accident. You swim all the way back to shore. You contact Elon Musk, and you're like, fam, what's going on with your car? What's happening? Why did this car just send me to the Atlantic Ocean? He responds back to you talking about, now this car almost killed you. He responds back to you talking about, oh, wait for the next update and this should be fixed. How's that gonna make you feel? This car almost killed you and he tells you to wait for the next update. You're gonna be mad about that stuff. Now, when you put this in video game terms, if my thing is this, if this is a game that I've been waiting for a good, like, let's say it's like the day before where it's like I've been waiting a few years for this game, right? I'm waiting a few years for this game. I'm hyped about it. I'm telling my friends about it. I'm up in the middle of the night, can't wait to even play it. I play this game and the game don't work. And I'm supposed to just be like, oh, okay. You still, imagine talking to these developers. Imagine if it was a situation set up where I take a game, but I'll just give you the money in like bits and pieces and stuff. So like, let's say you put out this good 5-star, 100 out of 100, overwhelmingly positive game. You put out the best game of all time. Let's say that this is Ubisoft, right? You put out the best game of all time. And instead of giving you the full $70 in some tax and things, yeah, so it's like, yeah, $69.99 after tax, 70 cents, I don't know, but anyways, I can't do that math in my head. But no, instead of giving you the $70+ I give you 10, and then I'm like, oh well, in a couple of weeks when I get paid again, I'll give you another $10. And then throughout the years, it's slowly, some days it might be a little bit bigger, the payment. Some days it might be much smaller. Yeah, let's say then the payment after, or yeah, the next payment, it's $1. And I'm all like, oh well, wait until tomorrow, then I'll give you the rest. And then it's like, oh, then it's $5, and then no, you guys are gonna want the full price for that game. Why can we not get the same thing in return? We used to at one point in time. What changed? And whatever it was that did change, it didn't need to change. So that's why I'm like, yeah, man. Indie games, to the indie developers out there, keep doing your thing, okay? I'm like, yeah, at times, you might run into some issues, you might run into some problems, but at least you care. That's one thing that I can say about indie developers, that their game might not work, but at least they care, all right? So, but anyways, with that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you guys go subscribe to Big Fry TV for more videos like this. Like, subscribe to me too, and I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching, and peace.